Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Transform Yourself. I'm Helen Margaret from Helen Margaret Hypnotherapy, happy to join you on this lovely Monday, August bank holiday, enjoying the sunshine and the blue skies. I hope it's the same wherever you are. What's been good in the last month? For me, there are lots of good things, and I'm going to focus on the little things today. I enjoy my cup of coffee every morning. It's Italian coffee from Naples. That is absolutely the reason that I get up in the morning. It's the best coffee I've ever had. I'm enjoying the sun shining. I'm enjoying the butterflies. I'm enjoying one of my clients telling me all about butterflies, and I'm learning a lot. She's got a lot of knowledge, and also about bees. I'm enjoying the relaxation of the bank holiday weekend, not quite doing as much as I usually do. But of course, life is not perfect and life is never perfect. But by focusing on the good things, I allow myself to release the serotonin in my brain and put me into the part of my brain, the upstairs of my brain, where I can make choices, problem solve, and be happy. What's been good for you? Don't forget to look out for the little things because they are important, especially when life gets a bit stressful. Which leads us into today's topic, which is the power of non-toxic positivity. And I've distinguished toxic from non-toxic because there is a trend at the moment, especially on social media, where we have to be positive at all costs because that's considered to be the best way to live. That any kind of negative emotions are just not allowed. This is a toxic trait because life is not always going to treat us with the kindness that we would like, and sometimes life is pretty hard. So where positivity lies is helping us to manage the difficult times rather than to override the difficult times. Toxic positivity is dangerous because, as I said, it doesn't allow us to have a multiplicity of feelings, and those feelings are normal and natural. Sometimes those feelings get in the way of our normal day-to-day life and are not really completely necessary. So that's where hypnotherapy can help you turn low mood, anxiety, anger management into more manageable situations, but that's only where they're getting in the way of your everyday life and there's no real underlying reason for them. There are reasons why we might be upset, we might be angry, we might be depressed, we might be anxious. And those times are the times where we should sit with those feelings and allow them to be there because they're there for a reason. One of the topics I'm going to deal with in future episode is grief. So grief is something that we will all experience in our lives at some point. Grief at the loss of a loved one, at the loss of a beloved pet, the loss of a job, the loss of a relationship. Big change in circumstances can cause us to feel grief. Grief is feeling hurt because of the loss. There's no other way that we can avoid grief. We can't hide behind positivity. We have to live through grief and get past it. And that's what makes us more resilient. And it's not even getting past it. We have to learn to live with that loss in our lives and rebuild our lives around that loss. Which means that at times we're going to feel very, very upset. We're going to feel very hurt. We're not going to want to smile. We may decide that we'll cry. We might not want to be around people. We might struggle with just doing ordinary, everyday things. This is perfectly normal and expected. Toxic positivity would expect that we would get past that quickly and that we would focus on the positives and say, well, it's not all that bad. You've been sad for long enough. Why don't you get past it? All of these kinds of things, smile, which was one of the things I hated people telling me when I was growing up. They'd say, smile, it might never happen. So these kinds of statements or these kinds of expectations of people are not very helpful and actually are quite toxic because they try to bury the reality of the feelings that we have. And those feelings are there for a purpose and they're not there unnecessarily. And sometimes we do have to live through painful situations and feel those painful emotions. What hypnotherapy does, or especially solution-focused hypnotherapy, some people have accused it of being toxic positivity, but it really isn't. And I want to explain why. The way that we practice solution-focused hypnotherapy is to promote healing in light of all of the complex things that we go through in our lives, and some of them are not very pleasant. And I'm just using grief as an example because it's a human experience that is something that we can't get past no matter how much we want to. We have to live through it and experience it and incorporate that loss into our lives. And when we experience loss, it's very, very painful for whatever reason. And we're going to have a lot of different emotions. We might follow the stages of grief. We might not. We might do our own thing and move backwards and forwards between anger and acceptance and upset and hurt and not understanding. And especially as we go through the first year where we have to have a lot of firsts, the first experience without a person, without a job, without a pet. These things are difficult and painful. What hypnotherapy can do, solution-focused hypnotherapy, is to just give you little moments of reprieve from the pain that you're experiencing. So, for example, I had a client whose mum was terminally ill in the hospital. She wasn't expected to recover. And she was finding that difficult because obviously losing a parent is a big life event. It's a big trauma. And she would take her father to the hospital in a wheelchair because her father couldn't walk. And they didn't have a wheelchair of their own. They borrowed one from the hospital. So it was always going to the hospital and going in search of a wheelchair. And they made it into a little game. Are we going to find one at the first entrance to the hospital? Are we going to have to wait for one? And they sort of made it a bit of a betting game just to take the pressure off why they were going there. It didn't mean that the pain went away. It just meant that they were thinking about something else temporarily, finding a wheelchair and making it a bit light-hearted in the face of something quite heavy and quite difficult. She would smile at people in the corridors as they walked through the hospital to get to her mother's bed. And some people would make jokes about the fact that she wasn't very good at driving the wheelchair. And again, she would smile and laugh a little bit. That was a small moment of relief from the painful thing she was going to do to see her mum in her terminally ill state. She appreciated the cups of tea that the nurses made her and the way that they cared for her mum. And so what these little things did for her and for her father were just give her a little relief in light of something very difficult. And also they reminded her that the world went on around her and that there were kindnesses to be found and good things to be found if you look for them. And this is the really important part. When life is difficult, look for the good things. And you might say, but there's nothing good when your mum is dying. There's nothing good about that. But you can find little things that just give you a slight moment of relief from the pain. It doesn't have to be a massive, massive thing, but it can be a little thing that just reminds you that there are good things to look for if you do decide to look for them. It's sort of the idea of having a bad day. If we have something bad happen in the day that's really upset us, we often say, had a really bad day, had a really bad meeting, and things didn't go right in the meeting, and it just made the whole day bad. But if you step back and think about it, the meeting lasted for maybe an hour. So the hour was a bad experience, but not the 24 hours or the 23 hours around that meeting. There were good things that happened. Perhaps somebody complimented you on your hair. Maybe somebody told you that you did a good job. There are all sorts of things that you can look for that will transform that feeling of a day being all good or all bad just by being a little bit observant and looking for those positive things that happen, no matter how small they are. Because what they do, if you remember the neuroscience behind it, they move you from your primitive brain, which is the downstairs of your brain, which is where all the negative emotions feel, and it moves you up to your upstairs of the brain, where you're a little bit more positive and have a little bit more perspective, because it releases your coping chemicals, one of which is serotonin. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not acknowledging that you've had a difficult time at work or that you're struggling watching your mum. It doesn't detract from that at all. It just merely allows you to step away for just a moment and feel a little bit better for a little bit of time. That's it. That's all it does. Solution-focused hypnotherapy doesn't ask you to be positive all the time, because that's not realistic and it's not being human. We have a range of emotions as humans, and we have a primitive brain for a reason. Our primitive brain keeps us alive. It allows us to protect ourselves. So we might get angry because somebody's walked out in front of us while we're driving the car. The anger is more fear than it is actually anger. It's just relief that we were able to stop the car in time, not to hurt anybody. But it's there for a reason. And in normal times, our negative feelings are short-lived. But when we're dealing with massive life events, then these things can take longer. And that's where those little twinkles of lightness can make a big difference when everything is really, really heavy. It might be more than one thing that you're dealing with. Divorce is a particularly difficult time because it may be that you're not only losing your life partner, you're losing your home. You're losing regular access to the children. All of this is massive, and it's all loss all at once, which means that life is very, very difficult because the losses are multiple. And it may be that those little things don't keep you afloat for very long. So what can you do? What positive things can you do for yourself that will perhaps help you cope a little bit better with these things? Not make them go away or ignore them, but just cope a little bit better. If you remember, we've got the 4 Ps: positive action, positive interaction, positive purpose, and positive thinking. So positive action is self-care, looking after yourself, eating properly, trying to get regular sleep, using the audio recording that you get from your hypnotherapist to help you sleep, doing things that make you happy, that make you feel comfortable. It might be anything from taking a bath to reading a book to painting your fingernails. Exercise, going for a walk, picking up some weights, taking a swim, going for a run. These things change the chemical reactions in your body and help you get away from the difficulties, even temporarily, on the duration of that exercise. Having positive interactions. So talking to friends, not just about the problems and the difficulties, but remembering good things with your friends, trying to have a little bit of a laugh or a little bit of a giggle, rather than focusing always on the negative things that are happening, the overwhelmingly negative things that are happening. Again, these are temporary fixes because you do have to sit in the pain to get past it and to incorporate the losses into your life as it looks in its new form. Positive purpose can be difficult for people who've lost a job and haven't yet got a new job, feeling that your life has no purpose. Or if you're divorcing, no longer being a husband or a wife, or no longer having regular access to children, challenges your understanding of yourself as a parent. So finding a purpose that is going to help you move forward and redevelop this normal, this new normal, that in a way that you can live with and incorporate into your sense of self. And then positive thinking. This is where we might worry about the future, worry about the things that we've done to cause the trauma to happen, whether it be the breakdown of a marriage, the loss of a job, wondering if we could have done things differently, wondering what the future is going to hold. These things can torment you and become things that you ruminate about, that go round and round in your head. And it's important to recognise that this is normal behaviour, it's normal thinking, but it's not always helpful thinking. And so the best thing you can do is focus on one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, whatever it is that you can handle. Don't look at the big picture going forward. Don't look at the big picture in the past. We can't change the past. We can have regret about it, but the best way to deal with the past is to learn from it. And of course, in the immediate vicinity of the events, it's very difficult to do that. But you work towards it one day at a time, and forgive yourself if you backtrack and find yourself worrying unnecessarily, because it's normal and it's human. Worrying about the future, regretting the past, all of these emotions do come from our primitive brain. Well, they cause us to forget that we can move forward and life can have a sense of normality again, even though it will be different. And regretting is simply beating yourself up for something that you can't change. So hypnotherapy can help you move forward from it. We don't talk about the difficult things. We don't talk about the pain. We look at how you move forward very slowly, very carefully. And it's not that we ignore the past or ignore the pain because it's not important. It's because hypnotherapy provides you with a way to move forward in spite of the pain, so that you can find a little bit of comfort when things are very difficult, which is a very, very different approach to toxic positivity, which asks you to be positive at all costs. And that's not what solution-focused hypnotherapy is about. It's about moving forward one step at a time, but recognizing that as humans, we might backtrack. We might move backwards a little bit before we move forwards again. And that's okay, because we're not robots. We have feelings, and those feelings are there for a reason. But solution-focused hypnotherapy helps you manage those feelings, helps you focus on the 4 Ps, helps you get the restful sleep that you need, helps you empty your stress bucket, which in times like this is overflowing, and helps remind you that when you're dealing with big life issues, positivity can help, but it's not there to mask all of the pain that you're going through. It's there to mitigate it and to help you cope just a little bit better. Today's relaxation session is very much about the importance of positivity, but not at the expense of feeling real feelings that are there for a reason. We heal through feeling those feelings, and so they're not something that we want you to hide or brush off or feel that you're not doing things right because you're feeling negative. So it's all about that. It's all about making sure that you recognize the balance that is helpful in your life and the little moments of relief that you can have by being a little bit positive. When you're ready, find yourself a comfortable position where you won't be distracted, where you can enjoy this time to recharge yourself and to relax and either go back into the day or go to sleep, whichever is your situation. You might need to pause the recording temporarily before you carry on. Find a comfortable position, either sitting or lying down. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more relaxed, more at ease. Notice the points where your body touches the chair or the bed, the surface that is supporting you. Does it feel hard? Does it feel soft? Do you sink into it? Feel the support beneath you, holding you gently, safely, knowing that you can let all of your weight relax into this space because it isn't going to drop you, it's going to support you in the ways that you need during this time when you're letting go. Now bring your attention to your feet. Feel them soften and relax. Allow this feeling of relaxation to slowly move upwards to your legs, your hips, your torso, your shoulders, arms and hands. Feel your neck and jaw release tension. And finally your face, your forehead softening, smooth and calm. With each breath, you sink deeper into this sense of calm, deeper into comfort, deeper into safety, knowing that here you can simply be exactly as you are. Imagine yourself in a place that feels completely safe, a place where you're fully accepted. It might be a quiet beach, a forest, or a cozy room, wherever your mind feels calm and secure. Take a moment to notice the details around you. Look at the colours. Are they bright, soft, muted, neutral? Notice the shapes and textures of the surfaces you see. Are they smooth? Do they have more texture that you feel when you run your hands over some of the textures? Now pay attention to the sounds around you. Maybe the gentle lapping of waves, the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs, or the distant hum of a comforting noise. It might be traffic in the distance. It might be your fan humming right next to you. Let those sounds wrap around you like a soft blanket, grounding you deeper into the calm. Feel the air on your skin, its temperature, its movement. Breathe in deeply and slowly exhale, letting your body sink further into the relaxation and calm. Imagine the ground beneath you, solid, supportive, holding you completely. feel the weight of your body being cradled to this safe, secure foundation. Notice any scents and aromas, perhaps the fresh scent of nature, the salty sea air, the rugged smells of the forest, the warm aroma of a room, or a calming fragrance. Allow your senses to fully absorb the comfort of this place. As you explore this safe space, imagine a gentle, warm light surrounding you. A light that is calm, nurturing, and protective. It embraces you, wrapping around every part of you, helping you feel secure, supported, and completely at ease. With each breath, allow yourself to sink deeper into this safe, comfortable, and relaxing place. Deeper into comfort, deeper into calm, deeper into relaxation, knowing that here in your sanctuary, it is safe to feel everything you feel. Every thought, every emotion is allowed here, and you are completely supported. Now gently bring to mind a feeling that is difficult, a sadness, a worry, or a fear. Notice it without judgment. You do not need to fix it or push it away. Simply allow it to be, like a cloud passing through the sky in front of your eyes. Notice its shape, its weight, its texture, and breathe with it as you watch it move slowly before your eyes. Remind yourself it's okay to feel this. You are safe, you are supported. As you breathe, you may notice that your body responds. Maybe a warmth, a heaviness, or a tightness. Allow yourself to breathe into these sensations. Let the air move in and out, giving space to what has been held. You are not overwhelmed. You are observing the feeling outside of yourself, like a cloud passing before your eyes. You're accepting, letting it be. Now notice a small light within you, your inner strength, your resilience, your capacity to heal. This light does not dismiss your feelings. It simply sits alongside them, steadily, calm, positive. With each breath, allow a gentle, soothing energy to flow through you. This energy reminds you that even in pain, there is growth, learning, and courage. You may repeat silently, think in your head, I allow myself to feel. I respect my emotions, and I choose hope alongside them. I allow myself to feel. I respect my emotions, and I choose hope alongside them. Imagine this energy spreading through your body, through your heart, through your mind, filling every space where tension or resistance has lived, creating balance between the acceptance of what is and the possibility of what can be. Now gently bring your hands to your heart. Feel its rhythm. Know that this balance, acceptance and positivity lives within you. You can carry it into every moment of your day. You can allow yourself to feel deeply and still hold hope. To acknowledge pain and still trust in your inner strength. Imagine yourself rising from your safe space, carrying this balance with you, stepping into your day with both courage and gentleness, knowing that every feeling has its place and every positive thought is a companion, not a dismissal of your reality. I allow myself to feel, I respect my emotions, and I choose hope alongside them. Now, while you're pondering on those thoughts, I want to tell you a story. Once, there was a young traveller named Leora who walked through a vast and quiet forest. The forest was alive with soft whispers of wind through the leaves and the gentle hum of birds far above. Each step she took on the mossy ground brought a sense of calm, as though the forest itself supported her journey. Leora paused beside a tall oak tree, resting her hands lightly on its bark. She noticed the way the sunlight danced through the branches, creating patterns on the earth. With each inhale, she felt a quiet warmth spread through her chest, and with each exhale, a gentle release of tension from her body. The forest seemed to guide her along a winding path toward a clearing, where a golden light shimmered through the mist. Leora felt safe and even more curious, as if this place had been waiting just for her. As Leora entered the clearing, she discovered a hidden garden surrounded by whispering trees. Their branches swayed gently, and a soft fragrance of flowers filled the air. She noticed the colours of the blossoms, some vibrant, some soft and pale, each one contributing to the peaceful beauty of the garden. A gentle stream wound its way through the sanctuary, the water sparkling in the sunlight. Birds sang quietly from the trees, and the soft rustle of leaves created a melody that seemed to harmonise within the rhythm of her steps. Leora explored slowly, noticing every detail: the texture of the stones under her feet, the warmth of sunlight on her skin, the faint scent of damp earth. Each moment she spent there made her feel more grounded, more at peace. Eventually, she found a small bench beside the stream, and she sat, feeling the earth supporting her completely. She noticed a gentle golden light surrounding her, warm and protective. The light seemed to welcome all the feelings she carried, letting them exist without judgment. With each breath, Leora sank deeper into the serenity of this sanctuary. She felt safe, completely supportive, and ready and curious for whatever the garden had to reveal. Walking further along the garden path, Leora came to a flowing river. Its water was clear, yet it shimmered with different colours: blues of calm, purples of sorrow, reds of frustration, golds of joy. The colours moved gracefully, swirling and merging as the river travelled onward. Leora knelt beside the river and watched the colours flow. She saw that each one represented a feeling, a moment of experience, or a story carried along by the current. Some feelings looked heavy and slow, others light and playful. She realised she didn't need to change the river or try to make it flow differently. She could simply watch, understanding that the river, like life, carried all emotions naturally. The water welcomed her presence, letting her observe without judgment. She leaned close and allowed herself to feel connected to the river's motion, noticing how it mirrored life. Feelings come, feelings go, and every current has its place. She felt a deep sense of acceptance washing over her as she continued to watch the river flow. As Leora continued along the river, she noticed a small glowing orb hovering above the water. It was soft yet steady, a warm golden light that pulsed gently with life. This light didn't push the river away. It simply existed alongside it, calm and unwavering. The orb seemed to speak without words, showing Leora that it was possible to honour the river of feelings while holding the light of hope and resilience at the same time. She felt the warmth of the light spreading through her chest, through her shoulders, filling every part of her being. Leora walked beside the river and carried the orb with her. She understood that sadness, fear and worry could exist alongside hope, courage and joy. The river of feeling and the light of resilience coexisted, balanced and harmonious. As she moved, she whispered to herself, not with pressure, but with recognition. Every feeling is allowed. Every light is welcome. The orb glowed brighter, acknowledging her understanding, as though the garden itself was celebrating her balance. Eventually, Leora left the river and walked back through the sanctuary garden. She noticed the colour of the flowers, the patterns of sunlight, and the gentle sounds of the forest once more. The orb of light travelled with her, steady and warm, and she knew the river's currents would continue flowing, even as she moved onwards. She felt a sense of completion, a calm confidence that she could carry the lessons of the garden into her life beyond the forest. She understood that it was possible to hold both depth of feeling and warmth of hope together in harmony. Before leaving the clearing, she looked back once, gratitude in her heart for the sanctuary, the river and the light. She knew she could return any time, carrying their gifts within her. Finally, Leora stepped out of the forest path and into the open sunlight of the world beyond. She walked forward with calm and strength, the river and the light now part of her. The journey had ended, but its wisdom travelled with her, ready to support every step she would take from that day forward. Now, slowly bring your awareness back to your physical body. Feel your feet, your hands, the surface beneath you. Take a deep, energizing breath in and then exhale. When you are ready, gently open your eyes, returning to the present moment, carrying with you a sense of calm, acceptance, and balanced positivity, feeling refreshed, empowered, and at peace. If you're going to sleep, turn over, turn off, and enjoy the rest of your lovely evening's rest. If you have to get up and move around, do so gradually and slowly, moving back into your everyday life, relaxed and positive. I hope you've enjoyed this month's podcast on power of non-toxic positivity. I look forward to talking to you next month. Until then, take care.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.